What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to another video. Within this video, we're going to be dissecting the phenomenon which is creating offers. How to create offers routinely that book more appointments and ensures that you're actually closing deals. We want to create offers that people actually need. The goal isn't to reverse engineer the wheel. The goal is to create something that's already working and simply frame it. This video isn't going to tell you to sell something entirely different. It's going to take what you're already selling, understand it, frame it, and flip it, and you guys are going to go from struggling to succeeding. Let's jump into the video, fellas. All right, so let's lock in. The first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to make this very, very easy to understand, because when it comes to selling services, I feel like that's where most people go wrong. Obviously, there's a few people that you guys would have seen in the industry that have solidified themselves as, you know, the go-to people, which is absolutely fine. But with that comes years of experience, years of testimonials, years of results, but most importantly, a personal brand. When you guys get into this industry, what you have to understand is this concept right here. You cannot keep getting away with selling a commoditized service and expect to yield a large portion of the market. It just doesn't work that way. Let's take John, for example, and Mike. So we've got John, let's say is you guys. He's been in the game for 10 years. He's worked with ample clients. He's got 10 years of knowledge, 10 years of insights, and he's a true master of his craft. Then you've got someone like me. In this example, that's Mike, right? I've just started an agency. I created an agency. I found a media buyer. I've got 1 month of experience. I've worked with 0 clients, 1 month of knowledge, 1 month of insights. And the problem is when we approach businesses, despite the difference in actual value between the two individuals, the perceived value is the same. And I'll explain why. It's because the barrier to entry to do what you do, aka the barrier to entry to do what you offer, is non-existent. Someone can start an agency today, for most of you guys watching this, find a media buyer, and now they're operating at the same level as you. And what happens is, instead of finding a way to be really competitive, which is adding value to what it is that you're offering instead of just a singular commoditized service, what people would rather do is decrease their price, work for free, or add a ridiculous offer and guarantee. Then what you have is a competition on who can race down to the bottom of the ground. Essentially, the first person to close their agency after 6 months, the first person to go broke. It's crazy. So instead of adding actual value, people would rather take the easy route, which is doing those 3 things that we spoke about. And I want to showcase to you guys that despite you guys being John in this scenario, why most of the time Mikes are winning. When you come to realize this concept, guys, that for the majority of the time, time is directly proportionate to value. So in this instance, we know that John has been in the game for 10 years, meaning the value that he provides businesses 9 times out of 10 will be proportionate to that. So he's going to be more valuable to businesses. But businesses don't have the opportunity to see that because they're basing it off of the perceived value. If both people are reaching out to business owners and they're both saying, hey, I'm going to generate you 10 leads with Facebook ads, who do you think the business owner is going to choose? Despite the difference in actual value, the perceived value is exactly the same. So look, that is what I want you guys to understand. The actual value is considered the compound benefit that you can attribute to a business's success. That's the insights you can help them with, the knowledge you can give them, the systems and experience that you can place within their business, versus perceived value. This is considered as the assumed benefit that you can attribute to a business based on the assumed insights, knowledge, systems, and experiences. The business owners can't see behind the scenes. They don't know John has been in the game for 10 years. They can only base it on the offer that is being presented to the table, which whereby they now assume the perceived value that they can provide. And the issue is most of you guys have 7-figure mindsets operating at a 3-figure offer. That is the problem. So look, when you say to a business, hey, we run ads, we help local businesses book 10 to 15 new appointments through Facebook ads, that's not an offer. Because like I said, my little brother's 16 years old. He can start an agency today, find a media buyer, and now he's operating at the same level as you, despite you having more experience in months, years, decades, whatever it may be. You have to understand a couple of things. It doesn't matter if you're selling Facebook ads. It doesn't matter if you're selling SEO. It doesn't matter if you're selling website design. If you're selling a singular commoditized service, you are one of these individuals that I'm speaking about. It's just easier to talk about Facebook ads because that's the one thing that people can resonate with. But most of you guys are trying to be the 1%er in amongst a fish of people selling the exact same thing as you. And I think this next graph is going to really hit home. This is a time to value, a TTV sort of graph that indicates the value and time portion. In the green, we see John type agency owners. These are usually the one percenters, the guys that have huge skin in the game, pause, but have the experience, the knowledge, the expertise. Then you've got the Mike type agency owners. These are individuals that get into the game today, but somehow see more success than the Johns. It doesn't make sense. But what you have to understand is what happens here that allows them to provide maximum amount of value is the fact that they can find a media buyer and operate at the same level as you. So what has taken John 10 years to do, these individuals within 30 days after finding a competent media buyer is now achieving. That is the problem. And then you see these guys who start an agency scale to 10K. Yes, they lose it after 6 months because they haven't got the principles that John has. But the problem is they're making more money than John. And the only reason why they're making more money than John is because they're hungrier. They're doing more. So if you think about it as a game of probability, if you've got a Mike and a John, and then the John is sending out X amount of outreaches, but Mike is sending out 15 times more outreaches, obviously Mike's going to win. Not only are you going to compete with bottom of the barrel clients that is providing the same amount of perceived value as you, which automatically makes it harder and more competitive, but you're also getting outworked by these guys. So you can't even complain at that point. So now what happens is most of the Johns of the world think, okay, cool. Everyone is offering the same thing as me. How can I be competitive? And this is what we spoke about. They add a ridiculous guarantee, they lower their price, and they're trading their time and energy for a result, which usually means that they're working commission. This is the supply and demand of commoditized agency owners. What we see here is you want to be somewhere around the middle, where your price is directly proportionate to the supply and the demand of whatever it is that you're selling. Now, this is where most agency owners are. The supply is very, very high of selling Facebook ads, and the quantity is very, very high of selling Facebook ads, but the price point of that has now become little to nothing. How many guys you know that's selling just Facebook ads with no personal branding is making more than 15K a month? Not many, right? They usually have to intertwine a couple different services to see more incentivizing and things of that nature. But this is where the one percenters lie. The demand for what they sell is incredibly high, but there's not many people doing it. That's why you have these guys that's able to charge 20K, 30K. These are the individuals that are making 600K a month, 600K, over the next couple of days. Like it's insane what these one percenters are able to do is because they understand the leverage game of supply and demand. How can I generate the highest amount of demand whilst providing the least amount of supply in the market? Because people would rather choose the easier options. We just spoke about it, guys. People would rather add a ridiculous guarantee, lower their price, trade their time and energy, than to add value to what it is that they're selling. Because if you can add value to what it is that you're selling, the demand for your thing goes up. But the problem is it's harder. So most people don't do it. But the actual solution is this. This is the iceberg methodology. This is something that I taught nearly 2 years ago. And I'm going to be dropping videos on this concept very, very shortly on the YouTube channel. I think it's going to be the next couple of videos. But this thing is what I taught individuals, and it changed their perspective completely. Because most people say to me, well, Shamar, does that mean I have to go and sell something different? Does that mean I have to, go and learn a different skill? No. The truth of the matter is, most of you guys that are offering a commoditized solution have the capabilities of twisting your offer and making 5K every time that you sell it. And I'll prove it to you. So let's look at it like this, guys. So this is how most of you guys watching this video has your agency set up. You're leading with Facebook ads, you're leading with appointment setting, whatever it may be. These are the things that are above the iceberg. Now, underneath it are the additional services that you guys sometimes offer, depending on what the client needs, what the client wants, and stuff like that. So we've got appointment setting, lead generation. This is the thing that is responsible for determining your perceived value. This is what your client uses to base that decision off of. It's the thing that you have in your bio, your offer, the main thing that people know you by, essentially. Now we've got AI chatbots, sales training, emails and SMSs, CRMs, landing pages, automation, triaging, voice agents. These are the additional things that you throw in with your service. Now look at this. If we continue to go down, these are the additional services, like I said. This is the thing that you guys do every now and then, depending on the client, but it's not your main offer, essentially. You're not going to tell people, hey, I build landing pages for clients. It's just something that you do on the side. So we're going to continue with this iceberg methodology. Remember, this is the thing that the client sees. These are the things that you guys tend to do after speaking to the client, jump on the sales calls, that type of good stuff. What you need to understand is this. You need to rank them. You need to look at your entire service stack and rank the services from value to optional to useless. So I did that for you guys. And like I said, this is just a general consensus for the average agency owner in today's market. So we've ranked them. SEO, useless. Triaging, useless. You've got voice agents, conversational agents, not needed. Websites, useless. CRM, useless. Sales training, useless. Email and SMS, optional. Landing pages, optional. Automation, optional. No-show system, optional. But what are we left with? We've got AI agents, voice agents, and database reactivation. Now, I've seen guys make incredible amounts of money with those three things, so we're going to keep those things. Let's continue. So your new offer angle, this is the new thing that your client sees. This is the thing that they will base their perceived value off of. Now, what is different about this iceberg compared to the one that we saw above? We flipped it. So now what happens is the thing that you used to offer before is the thing that is hidden. And I'll explain why. Now you're going to position yourself as the solution to these three things: database reactivation, voice agents, AI agents. Now we see that the appointment setting and lead generation becomes the hidden bonus, if you will. Now watch this. You go from saying something like this: we run ads helping local businesses book 10 to 15 appointments through Facebook ads, and then you change it to something like this: we recoup 50K plus in potential jobs, re-engaging with your old database, no ad spend needed. The beautiful thing about what you guys do is you offer so much value, you're just positioning it in the wrong way. What I tell people to do is this: take your commoditized service, do it as a bonus, figure out what your additional services are, and use that as your new offer. So for most of you guys, you already know about AI. You already know about database reactivation. You already know about website optimization. Like, you know about all these software. So if you're a website guy, right, and you're currently running Facebook ads, and you currently know about database reactivation, or you know about landing, whatever it may be, let that be your bonus. Instead, figure out what you're already offering underneath your iceberg, make that your main offer, and then add the bonus, your main commoditized service, as the additional thing. Now, what happens is you take the complete section of the market out of the game. Because let's say this is me, for example. If I went from offering Facebook ads to now doing this database reactivation offer, I've completely negated every other agency running Facebook ads, because those business owners are getting approached by those guys on a daily basis. But if I went approach the business owner, I said, hey, John, look, I'm more than happy to come in, generate you guys X amount of leads for free. I'll bring in around 50K worth of revenue depending on your database size. And as a bonus, once we recoup that 50K, how about we implement some of that into Facebook ads? Just for that, I'll charge a little management fee. Bam. It's now become the bonus. So you go from being a commodity to replacing commodity agencies. That is the difference, guys. I'm not telling you to offer something brand new. I'm not telling you to change what you've already done. I am telling you to flip the iceberg. What are you currently offering that can be used as a positional offer, and then the main thing you did before as the bonus? This only works if you provide real value. Now, if you flip the iceberg and there is no value underneath it, you don't have an offer problem, you have a value problem. You need to get more skills and solve more problems. But I'm yet to come across an agency owner that cannot flip it and provide and create a better offer. I'm yet to come across one. They're like, yeah, but Shema, I'm doing... There is always more to be made. Everyone is sitting on a 5K solution. You just need to know how to do it effectively. So feel free, guys, in the comment section below, engage. Drop what your offer is, tell me what your additional service is, and I'm more than happy to help you create that new offer, guys. But this is the place you want to get to. We go from John before to John now. He's got 10 years worth of experience, the same amount of experience. He's now a part of the 1%ers. He's charging higher ticket. He's increased his booking rate. He's increased his closing rate, and he's now become the new thing. Now look at what happens, guys. Supply and demand. Remember the graph from before. We still have the 99% of agency owners that are commoditized. Huge amount of supply for what they're selling. The quantity is through the roof and the price is little to nothing because they're running their agencies into the ground. We've got the 1%ers who are solving the majority of problems for their target audience, and not many people can do that. But now what we have since we flipped the offer is John. John is charging more than the average agency owner. The demand for what he does is incredibly high because now he's solving more than one problem and replacing the commodity. And he can charge a decent amount of price for it. He can choose how much he charges. That is the place that you guys want to get to. So look, the goal isn't to change what you're offering. The goal is to understand it, flip it, and then reframe it. Everyone is sitting on a 5K solution. If you guys understand these concepts, it will change the game forever. I always tell people, all you have is all you need. Understand that concept. All you have is all you need. You don't need more, you don't need less. The knowledge you have is enough to change your life. But if people don't understand these types of gems, it becomes incredibly difficult to do that. So guys, I hope you appreciate this video. Let me know if this video was super valuable for you guys. Drop in the comment section below what your commoditized service is, and let's help each other to flip it. And on the flip side, I have a free community that I would love for you guys to join. It's going to be linked in the description below. We're going to be dropping gems similar to this. We're helping people create new offers every single day, dropping resources. It's going to be a tight-knit group community, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of it. You're going to join the WAP link. Then once you click and actually join the WAP, you're then going to see across the top, I'll probably put an edit in this video so you guys can see. It's going to say join Telegram. Please join. We've got some absolute killers in the game. And yeah, guys, hopefully this was super informative. I'll see you guys in the next video, and look out for that 3-part series that I'm going to be releasing on this channel as well. I'll see you guys on the other side.